If you guys want to live a badass life, all you have to do is figure out the algorithm and how it works. Welcome to Triton Kid Lifestyle, where I help men elevate to the highest versions of themselves, reinvent themselves, and recreate their identities by doing the most simple ass shit, because it is so damn simple. So this world works on an algorithm. And you have to figure out the algorithm to live the life of your desires. And step number one to mastering this algorithm is developing a deep connection with God, your higher self, and your intuition. That is the very first step that you need to do. Most people these days are separated from God. Most people these days make bad decisions because they don't have discernments. They don't have wisdom and intuition. Because most men these days and most people these days are giving into vices. They're living in their flesh. They're giving into temptation, and that separates them from God. So they don't even have a voice that's telling them what they should be doing with their lives, what their purpose is. They don't have that clarity because they're drifting through life. Because they're living a life full of temptation and they have vices. So step number one, reestablish your connection with God so that you have clarity on your purpose and your vision. And you also have wisdom and discernment. And plus you will be favored by God. So how do we do this? Well, you need to raise your vibration. And you raise your vibration by, I say this all the time, avoiding temptation, getting rid of all your vices, being disciplined, and taking action. That's how you become high vibration. Because what this does to you as a man is it builds confidence and self-respect. And people can feel that aura about you. Because a lot of men these days are living in states of shame and guilt and regret. Because they're not taking the action. They have a ton of vices. They feel like shit. They can't control what they stick in their mouth. They can't get to the gym and do physical activity. But what they can do is scroll through social media. They can watch adult content and play with themselves for that quick hit of dopamine. They can play video games. This feels good in the short term. But you're sacrificing your soul to do this shit. And nicotine pouches, vapes, all these substances do is keep you content with your shitty life. The moment you stop vaping or nicotine pouches or drinking alcohol or any other drugs that numb yourself, you'll be so disgusted with your reality, you'll have no other option but to make a change. And guess what happens when you drop these vices? You can hear God again. And then all of a sudden you have this clarity and this peace on what you need to do with your life. This is the algorithm. The algorithm to this world is becoming a high vibrational man that is disciplined, takes action, avoids temptation, and drops all his vices. Doesn't chase women, doesn't lust over women, doesn't play video games, doesn't go after all these short hits of dopamine for instant gratification. Reads, grows all the time, gets good rest, exercises, eats healthy. He's disciplined. And once you do all these things, you reestablish that connection with God, and guess what? All of a sudden you start getting these downloads. You start getting these downloads on what you need to do. You get these very clear visions about what you want to do with your life. And then you start getting instructions. This is the algorithm. Now, the next step of the algorithm, probably the hardest part, is listening to your intuition. Because once you reestablish that connection with God, and you start getting these downloads, and your intuition is screaming at you to do certain things, it's going to tell you to do things that are terrifying and take a lot of courage and a lot of faith. You have to have faith that it will work out. And this could be quitting your job and moving to a new city. Right? There's this voice in you that's telling you to do it. But then there's this other voice saying, no, that's too dangerous. Your flesh is telling you that. Your ego is telling you that. No, it's too dangerous. It's safe here. Let's stay safe. And then guess what? You never develop, you never grow. So this world is an algorithm, and all you have to do is figure it out to live the life of your desires. And a lot of religious texts talk about this kind of stuff. It basically gives you instructions on what to do. You essentially become a high vibrational man by being a righteous man and a hardworking man and a God-fearing man. You raise that vibration, you become in tune with your higher self and God, and you start receiving this wisdom and knowledge and a very clear vision and purpose for your life, and then you start taking action. And then everything just unfolds, and it's easy. Everything just starts happening for you. I swear to God, like if you have vices, if you do nicotine pouches and vaping and alcohol and drugs, and you think that you can override the algorithm and say, you know what, I can reestablish that connection with God with my vices. You can't. Trust me, you cannot. These temptations and these vices are meant to keep you in a low vibrational state and disconnected from God so that you stay enslaved, so that you stay drifting. That's what all these vices that are so easily accessible are meant to do to you. That's what adult entertainment's meant to do to you. Video games are meant to do to you. All of these things are meant to keep you in a low vibrational state so that you can stay small. So stop being a bitch. Seriously. If you cannot drop your vices and avoid temptation, that is weak. It's so simple. It is so simple what you need to do. I'm going to say it one more time. Avoid temptation every single day. Drop all your vices. Video games, drugs, alcohol, nicotine, adult content. Drop all those vices. Stay disciplined. Take action every single day. It's that simple. Just do it for one day and see how you feel the next day. You'll feel like a completely different person. So this world is an algorithm. Once you figure it out, it's easy. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.